Well, here goes for another day, uh, my 40-day challenge. Um, I have learned that I am supposed to be on this medication that's antidepressant, and 2 days ago, the doctor tried to prescribe me an antidepressant, and then I saw another doctor today tell me, oh, you have all these exercises to work on because they said that the fibromyalgia has come back with a vengeance. Then my last doctor, my primary doctor, I came to him and I told him all of this stuff and that I had a service dog, and I had mentioned to the other doctor that it sounded like I needed to go back to my service dog. And she said, I can't prescribe that to you, but it wouldn't hurt. And then this morning's doctor said that I have all the exercises that I need. I just need to put them to work. And she reminded me of them. Then I went to my primary doctor, and he said, you were prescribed a service dog, right? You had a service dog. I said, yeah, bona fide. He says, what's stopping you from just getting another service dog if you have that notification that you were supposed to have one? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. So what I guess I'm getting down to the point of is the 40-day challenge. I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. And as time has progressed, I thought affiliate marketing. I thought doing some work. And then today it came to me, I need to find a bona fide service dog. Now, that doesn't mean just going to a shelter and getting one, just getting a dog, and that's not how it works. For a service dog, you have to actually have a connection. If you don't have that connection between you and that dog, it's not going to work no matter what. What I explain to people is that because of the new rules and regulations, because of all that's transpired over the last couple of years, now you have to get an appointment. You can't just go in. You can't just see the dogs and see if you connect with them or anything like that. And I told them that's a part of what's going to bring it down for me to be able to actually get a dog, is that the connection there. I can't get a connection from a picture. That's just not going to work. You actually have to be in connect. You have to see the dog, and you have to see if you two can connect. Because if you don't do that, there's no point. And I explained to my mom that with the last dog that I had, to be honest, when I started my research, because that's part of the process, you have to do research on the dog that you'd like to have versus what you need. What does the dog need to provide for you? And I knew the breed of dog that I wanted at the time and the dog that I needed. And I went to go and check them out. And I ended up with a totally different breed than what I had originally planned on. And he was perfect for my situation. He was perfect mesh. What I didn't know was all the health issues that came with his particular breed when I got him. I wish I had, but that's okay. Now I have found a breed that I'd like to have, but to get that breed is almost like you have to go to a breeder to get them. And I've explained to people, it's not just snap and there you go. And I explained to my mom, I know that I need a small dog. I know that it needs to be able to be in my lap. And I know that we have to connect. So for as much as I want this one particular breed, I may end up with a different breed altogether. And then tonight, of course, I was given a notice from my dad about Christmas, because we're coming on Christmas, and my dad likes to get people what they want in the family. And I was asked by my mother. Now, why I was asked by my mother, I don't know. My fiance suggested it's because he wants to see a connection there. The thing is that my mom and I have a great connection. He and I have a kind of connection. But I thought, if he really knew what I wanted for Christmas, I don't know if he'd be willing to work with it. Because with the concept of a service dog, you have to think of the expense. Now, in some cases, with a service dog, it depends on what is needed in service as to how much training needs to be done. Sometimes you need to do one-on-one training with the dog, and sometimes the dog has to go through specific training, and you have to go through a specific connective peoples to get that training. And they say that the person has to be trained more than the dog, which does have its points, yes. But there really has to be a connection between the dog and the handler, which would be the person who has the dog. And there has to be a secondary handler just in case there's something that comes up, like a surgery, an emergency, anything like that. So, for this time around, it finally came to me that I'm going to be switching all of my plans for doing affiliate marketing to doing service dog, sharing my process of how I personally am having to get a service dog. The service dog that I had helped me to where I could go places and not be in full anxiety. And it basically a mental health awareness. If I was going into issues, he got my attention right away. He helped to break a lot of issues. Basically, he helped with a lot of mental health issues. Now, there's also those for seeing eye dogs, and that's a completely different element. But what most people look for is the seeing eye dog. I'm talking about another class of dogs that helps with socialization, helps with all sorts of different health issues, mental health issues. There has to be that connection. And I do believe that even with seeing eye dogs, there has to be that connection. If you don't have that connection, it's not going to work no matter what. That dog has to feel comfortable with his handler, basically the owner, or it has to have there has to be a connection there, or there's no point. So I know this is a little bit longer than usual, but I wanted to share that the reason why I ended up with my last service dog was because they tried me on 3 different antidepressants, and I totally rejected all of them. My body did. And I'm the one who suggested a service dog. And it was because I couldn't do the medications. I'm very holistic mindset, but my body just doesn't accept a lot of medications, plain and simple. So for this session, I'm discussing the service dog concept and my journey to finding a service dog. It's going to be an interesting one because I have to start searching like right away. Also remembering that there's also vet care, medical care, the training, the food, the basics. All of this has to be taken into account for a service dog. Can you afford it? And in my case, I have no choice. I have to afford it. I have to figure out a way, and I'm going to have to make it work. So there you go for this session, service dogs and how we go about getting them and the beginning process. Just the beginning. I'll share each day a little bit more of my service dog adventure.